Hey YouTube, it's Chris with the Martial Alchemy channel. Today we are on part 15 from Hillebrand's book on sparring. We're going to be finishing up the first section and then we're going to be doing a workout at the end, so be sure to stay tuned. Okay, so this section of Hillebrand's book is kind of more philosophical, things to consider when doing boxing. He doesn't give too many drills, so we're just going to kind of cover this section, and then the very last thing we're going to cover is the beginning of part 2 of his book, the more advanced practice. So that's when we're going to get to the workout part. But what he covers in this first part that we're going to work on today is close quarters practice. So close quarters practice is if the person is super close to you and they're throwing a flurry of strikes, your job is not back up, but to work on just a covering drill. So I actually practice this a lot with my own students. We do a lot of this when we're out at what we call wall drill. I'm going to start with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. My back foot, I put the heel on the wall. My job is to not back up. Obviously, I can't really go anywhere. And I don't want to be too close to the wall, so if I go to move my head back, I don't bang into it. Tilt forward a little bit, take my guard. And then my partner is right here. They're not at a distance. They're not cutting angles. They're not really moving around, but they're throwing strikes. Now, you're going to start out nice and slow when you do this. And feed you one strike, feed you another strike. And your job is simply to cover it, cover it, cover it, cover it. As you get better at this, your partner starts speeding up. I always tell my students go for about 50-50. You should be hitting them about half the time. Both people benefit from this one because one, you're working on striking through a person's guard, and the other person is working on, obviously, covering, not getting hit. So this is very similar to the drill that he does explain, where he basically just says stand in front of your partner, they feed you strikes, and then you just go back and forth. So wall drill, great way to practice close quarters combat. All right, so the very last section that he works on is the methods of conduct depending upon the size, strength, and skill of your opponent. So he's going to give us 4 little blips on what to do in any given situation based on bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. Let's take a look at each one of these. All right, so the very first one is if the person is much bigger, stronger than you, you're going to focus on keeping them at distance. You're going to rely on quickness, and you don't want them to close. Obviously, if they're a lot stronger than you, they close, they're most likely to grapple you, throw you to the ground. Again, this is a boxing minute age when you could drop a person down to the ground. So all you're going to focus on is you're going to work on darting in, darting out. You're going to do a lot of evade back, chasing the punch back in, follow-up strikes from there. So nothing too advanced. You're just going to focus on using your mobility. The next one is against a shorter opponent. He says that you have all the advantage in the world, right? It's a great thing to be the taller, bigger person. We see this all the time. If you got the reach on the person, you can hit them when they're going to have a much, much harder time hitting you. What he obviously recommends is watch for your ribs and your midsection, especially if you're a lot longer reach. You're probably a lot taller. It's going to be easy for them to come up underneath and blast his ribs, so be mindful of that. Okay, so the next one is against a taller opponent. So vice versa of what we did last time, you probably can guess what he's going to recommend. So stay out of reach, chase the strikes back, so you're working on your return. So cover, void, whatever it happens to be as those long arms come in, and then coming up underneath, you're going for the ribs or the midsection, just like he recommends being mindful of if you're the taller person. And then the last one is if the person is more skillful than you are. So this is bad, right? If the person's stronger, more skillful than you, you're going to have a really, really bad day. But he does give you a recommendation of if this happens, if you find yourself in this position, don't give up. That's the biggest one. You gotta, you're committed to it. You're going to stick with it. You're going to have, keep your hopes up. And you're going to really focus on covering, and you're going to focus on your returns, this sort of stuff. Just keep to your basics, and you're going to try and just stay in the game as much as you can, and you're going to be better off. And that concludes part 1, the entire first section of his book. Now he's going to make his transition to part 2, which is more advanced practice. He gives a big recommendation. Practice the basics first. Even today, I still practice jab cross. You watch any professional, their warm-ups, they are working on basics. Now we're going to get to the advanced practice, but remember, practice is stuff that we've been working on so far. Okay, so now we are on advanced practice from Hillebrand's book. The very first section that he covers is dodging. Basically, he breaks this down into what is dodging. Dodging is the throwing back or movement of the head so that you can avoid a blow, without using your hands. So if your hands are engaged, otherwise engaged. So for example, I could be striking and the strike is coming in and I move my head out the way. Or maybe they're knocking my hands down or whatever happens to be, my hands are busy. I can't parry, I'm gonna move my head out the way. We're gonna be doing some drills. When we get Mike in here, he might get to punch me in the face, who knows? It's gonna be fun. But we're gonna cover this and then the workout will be based on this exercise. Let's get at it. Okay, so very first thing that we're going to work on with dodging. A couple drills. He doesn't actually give any drills for this one, so I'm going to just throw some at you. Okay, so the very first thing that I would start out with, if you're doing this practice at home and you got a friend, you take that guard. You take your Hillebrand guard. You have your friend. They can do a pool noodle, works well. We happen to have a Century little bopper stick. These work great. You can get them in pairs or whatever, but for today's practice, you're going to focus on your friend is going to swing towards your head, just right down to the center line, and your job is to dodge it. So we're going to focus on left and right. We've already covered sitting back in the previous videos. I'm going to take my guard, and as Mike goes, I'm just going to take the body and lean it. So this is not just taking the head. This. If he swings and I just move my head, you run the risk, and again, if this was a punch, there's your neck, right? So you want to avoid this entirely. So the head's going to move, and I'm also going to tilt the body. So it's not a huge movement. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this where I'm completely off balancing myself. I want all of it to shift to the side a little bit. I'm here, and I just shift to the side a little bit as I do this. And obviously we're not dead in our foot. Right? We would be moving around, and I'm going to drop this foot back a little bit. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. I want to snap in and back out. You want to practice starting out nice, slow, come back to center, move, come back to center, move, come back to center, move. Later on, and I'll describe this in just a little bit, you want to be constantly moving your head. You don't want to be a stationary target. But let's just practice this real quick. So Mike is going to swing towards my head. He gets to watch all types of things. He's going to let me know tilted too much. So tilted too much is this. So Mike will tell me if I tilt too much. Guard, if I go like this. Really, really common for people early on to drop the hand down like this. I'm wide open, I'm exposed. So I want to just tilt the body, tilt the head. I'm going to go to one side, go to the other side. One side, other side. And I want to come right back to center as fast as possible. And he can pick up the pace a little bit, so return back to center each time. Like so. Nice and simple. So that's the very first thing. It's almost like you're being knighted, right? Feels great. Again, return back to center. Now let's throw on some gloves and look at our next drill. Okay, so now, going forward, Mike's got a glove on. This is just to protect, to make sure that my face doesn't get completely smashed if I miss. And he's going to, so the downward motion with the bopper, easy to see, easy to perceive, and you just sliply move out the way of it, right? You tilt out the way of it. As he's coming straight in, much harder to see, hard to perceive, right back. And I'm going to be here. Whoosh, whoosh. I don't want to reset. This is really, really hard in this type of drill of preempting, right? So I don't want to be here and let my partner go this way. I want to wait until it's here. And you always want to check to make sure you're in your range. You want to have that threat, right? So he throws a strike. Whoosh. And I always tell people to make sure that you're not punching to the parrot on the shoulder. Don't be kind to your friend. It's not kind to train them to dodge that punch, right? You want to train them to dodge this punch. You're actually helping your friends out by punching them in the face. If they don't get used to getting punched in the face, that's not good, right? So if I mess this up, Mike's going to punch me right in the face. Not hard. If you're dodge every single one of them, tell them to speed it up. Like so. All right, so that's the next drill. Now let's take a look at really, really important practice to do, and then we'll get to the exercise. Okay, so we are on the last thing that we want to cover, which is a really, really important exercise that will help you out with your conditioning, and it's also going to help you out with your dodging. Now, I discovered this one after I had a really, really bad neck injury after training for a knife fight. Yeah, you heard that right. And my head got wrenched out of position. And I had to go to chiropractor and massage therapist and all this type of stuff. And I discovered this exercise to help condition the neck, get it back into somewhat functioning shape. And then I discovered, hey, my ability to dodge was significantly better than before I had injured my neck. What was the difference? Is this guy. So not only if you have neck problems, it's really useful. You just take your guard position. You don't need a guard position. You can simply take a 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Let the chin jut forward, tuck it down, roll it back. And we'll do a number of reps this direction. And then I always turn sideways, slight 45-degree angle, turn the head, turn the head, turn the head, do a number of reps this direction, same thing on the other side, and then you turn completely sideways and junt it forward. Now what is that doing? Obviously it's conditioning the neck for exactly what we want to work on. You want to be able to pull the head back, tilt it to one side, tilt it to the other side, keeping your posture upright. Now after I have done a lot of this, and I do it on the regular constantly because neck injury again, is one of the things like when I spar people, they tell me I am very, very skillful at avoiding, dodging those tight little movements, those head movements. People have a really, really hard time hitting me because I have done this exact exercise. So I recommend training it and see if your ability to dodge doesn't go way up. So that's my little tip to you guys. Now let's get to the actual workout and we'll finish this one up. Okay guys, this is it. Took about a minute to make this. Tape, string, ceiling. Done. Really, really common way of practicing this. Yes, you can get really nice, well-made, weighted versions of this, but this is what we had on hand, so this is what we came up with. What you're going to do, we have it set up for 30 seconds on, 12-second break. We're going to do 2 rounds facing this direction, and then I'm going to do 2 rounds facing the camera. You're going to start the timer, and you're going to get the ball going. So you're going to have it swing out, and you want to check to make sure it's right at face height. Then you want to work on not flinching too much, right? So as it's coming back, I don't want to dodge here. You want to wait for it to get right here, then move past it. It's going to come back, and you're going to reset back to center. Now, you can reset back to center beforehand and focus on trying to, if you can perceive it out of the corner of your eye as it's coming back, try and reset back to this position. But you want to be keeping this as tight as possible. So you really want to be focusing on just letting it go just barely past your face. That's it. We're going to go ahead and get started here. We've got 10 seconds. Again, I'm going to face this direction. We've got 30 seconds on. We're going to go ahead and get it swinging. And 5, 4, here we go. I'm going to make sure I keep my guard up. I'm going to turn back to center each time. Let the head come back. Donk in the head. I get hit. Let's get going. Ready? Come back. Come back. This is it. Nice and simple. Whole body's going to move. I'm going to bend the leg. I'm going to come back to center, bend the leg, come back to center. I don't want to tilt the head like this. I want to make sure that the whole body moves with it. Whole body moves. Keeping it nice and tight, back and center. Okay? I'm going to go forward so you guys can see. And 5, 4, here it goes. 1, come back to center. 2, come back to center. Whole body's going to move. Head's going to move. Body's going to move. Head's going to move. Body's going to move. Again, I don't want to just move my head like this. Keep the guard up. If it's going too slow, get it going. Go in the other direction. If you're feeling good with this and it's moving, you can also add some footwork to this. So as I get it going, start moving around with it. Start moving around. You can work one side, come back the other side. If it slows down on you, especially this one, it's a really lightweight ball, so you might need to pop it up a little bit, get it moving. Don't do this with a kettlebell. Mike suggested we use a dumbbell. Don't do that. That's a dumb idea. Sorry, Mike. You want to use something light so that if you miss it, it's not going to break your face. It's important. I've seen the videos of people who do this with a kettlebell. Talk about a bad day. Dunk. There it is. Keep it as tight as possible. Don't overdo it. And keep it nice and tight. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, real easy to make at home. Working this idea, keeping your body as upright as possible, not tilting your head off balance like this, but tilting the whole body. The leg drops, the hip rolls, the body moves, head goes with it, and then you get real comfortable with this. And again, if you have a heavier ball, it will help. Not too heavy though, but you want something that will swing back so that you can be a little bit more lively in this. This is a little slow for my taste, but it's a good way of practicing. All right, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment below. If you do this type of training, I want to hear about it. It's pretty common stuff, especially this guy. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, and see you next time.